got ourselves team 1 with Iraq. I think looks like maybe first. Definitely doing a bit of shopping, last minute shopping spree for some duels. Drudy, what is this set? You got yourself like the shoulders, the Harlequin shoulders. Got like a gloves, the bob haircut. We got ourselves Jayhawk Wizard here, Rick, as well as Whistler. Is that right? Yeah, Whistler. There it is. With Kenem going to be first up over the team 2. Kenem so far has not really got a chance to play. Drudy might be able to have himself a chance here to fight versus the Paladino. It is going to be immediate stunned, disarm to full. It does go for immunity, but looks like disarm still does still get disarmed, even though through a spell warden, which is super unusual actually. Is that normal? It's going to be silence. Kenem is going to go for a bubble. Drudy just needs to survive. Bear form, Heart of the Wild apparently was used really early. Is Heart of the Wild active? Or do you use it like before the game started? I don't even understand. Cycle it out on Kenem gives you an opportunity to catch a couple of regrows. If you got any damage, you got trees, you got yourself a loon, that's a perfect opportunity for you to make some damage happen. Kenem just back it up out of there as best as possible. Those trees are going to do a decent bit of damage, dude. The punches and the moonfires they put up are not that bad. Drudy just trying to see if he could back away from Kenem. I think it was a mushroom to proc to slow him. Lay on hands to follow right after. Got himself a Fury of a Loon. For Drudy, he just needs to play a little bit defensively. Next Hodge could be very, very deadly. Unless he can meld the Hodge. Then that would be ideal. For Drudy, though, he's getting a lot of proc damage into a stun onto Kenem. Got himself a couple of dots. Back it up out of the immediately. For Kenem, at least it's going to be some dot damage he's got to deal with. But for the Boomkin, at least it's not Star Sword just barreling down on you. Right, at least it's not the full combo, full damage, steady. It's going to be Drudy. Got himself Incarnation together with trees. Everything is available. Into a silence, root onto Kenem. Disarmed him. Fifth to float, just to back up out of the Kenem is going to get dropped down with all the burst, all the damage, bear form. Before he gets hit with any kind of CC, he does still get hit by a freeze from Icy with a full stun, meteor, everything available. Actually nothing for Drudy to do here. Just Lance is firing off on it back to back. He's still alive though. Mainly bear form. He needed every survivability he's got. I don't know if he can roar. Try to see if he can juke a clone. Does juke a clone? Icy God could not melt this. For Drudy, he needs a lot of healing. He is not out of the woods. He needs a lot of healing. And as long as there's lances and flurries out from Icy, there's not much you can really do. Can't silence him. Jumping down to the meteor. Back into bear form. Battle Mass Tricket to give him some more health. Regrowth. Trying to make sure he doesn't get blinked interrupted on. Do you have healing in bear form? Holy! The amount of damage this man is taking right now is a lot. He's having to doing a really good job making sure not to get interrupted. Trying to go for a juke. Interrupt. It's going to be bear form. Cat form. Just trying to see if he can shift out into a bear form, maybe a bit of that frenzy regen. Regrowth still available. You can't kick him anymore, but he can still get hit with a breath into a stun. I think he's trying to see if he can avoid getting hit by a breath stun. Breath stun is going to be deadly. Trickens that immediately. Icy with full burst. That's going to be Drudy. Root on the guy, but he don't silence him, unfortunately. I think he was trying to go for root, but then silence. That was a lot. He was under a ton of pressure, to be fair. That was a lot going on all at once, though. With a full interrupt onto Rick. Does go for the wall? Interesting. Rick can technically create a bunch of pets. Do they have to go all the way around the wall? No, they actually just let the pets attack the wall. Icy got dropping down meteor onto Rick. Got himself a ring of frost. Tried to see if he could set it up on the port, but it wasn't enough. Icy back it up out of here. He doesn't have a lot of health to work with though. Is going to be able to at least sit down for some food. Blinks out of this in the open though. With Rick, all the pets are active. It's going to be a block. He's going to have to sit it out. At least we don't have dampening rolling in too high. It's only 15% dampening. So that block is getting full value. At least right now for the time being. But it's just not in a amazing spot by any measure, boys. Not in a great spot at all. Shift power is going to go for breath. Trades it with a mortal coil though. So for Icy, he's got himself a second block, man. But I don't know, dude. Just like send a second block. That's going to be shields. But like they're just barely holding on strong. Ring of Frost does get hit with an Axe Toss. The Axe Toss not interrupting him on Frost, unfortunately. Otherwise for Rick that would have just been the end. But he does get himself a proper block. Into an interrupt onto Rick. Whatever damage you got, Icy right now. Now you just have to make it happen. Rick tried to see if he could keep himself alive here. Did pop Reflect. I don't think Reflect would have stopped the stun. But I think Icy did end up altering backwards. Or reversing just to get in a little bit of health. Maybe you should have just stuck in with Rick, but I mean, it's just a tough situation. I don't think there's a way to come back here. Yeah, I don't think there's a way to come back. And Rick is just ready. Whoever's going to be next, he's got a Tyrant ready to go, but no one ran out. No one decided to call him. With Bludge going to be up next with a quick sap. The Rogue got him exactly where he wants him. Rick does have a trinket. Gateway is up. I don't know if he can use Gateway immediately. Trying to make sure he doesn't get interrupted. That's going to be Bludge with a cloak. Evasion. Gateway out for Rick. Trying to see if he can snap him. Does Rick connect with him pretty quickly with a cheap shot right after. Wall out for Rick. So he's able to live this. Fear on to Bludge as he goes in for a massive DFA hit. That's going to be a lot of recovery for Rick though. Fear spam by Rick. Got him some Dreadstalkers. Axe toss to follow. Got himself a Tyrant while behind the pillar. Blush with advantage is just getting back in there. He knows that he's in a situation where he just got to maximize whatever damage he's got. If he's got any kind of pressure, now would be a good time. He has advantage if everybody wants to escape. What's up, Harris? How you doing, my guy? How you doing? Doing pretty good, man. We got more duels tonight. How are you doing, Harris? Hope you're having a wonderful, beautiful evening, my boy. Hell yeah, we got more duels, dude. We got patch 11.2 arriving in not next week, but the week after. So it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of class changes on the horizon. Seasonal content going to be out very, very soon. We are actually going to not have seasonal content like dungeons and delves, but we are going to have like Mythic 0 dungeons. I'm pretty sure week 1 of 11.2, right? That's going to be a lot of gear that everybody's going to be able to get really early on. So hype, dude, same. It's actually looking like a very exciting patch. The amount of class changes in the zone, the raid, the dungeons, it's actually kind of exciting, man. I remember the hype for season 2 was kind of low until Blizzard made a lot of changes when it comes to like the raid and the dungeon. But this one started off strong and started off pretty positive from the get-go. Is going to be Rick taken down. Plus, though, that is the one less positive thing about 11.2 is rogues. As we saw, Rick took down Plush, being a rogue. There's only so much you can do against demonology. Rogues are not getting a lot of changes in 11.2. Just like stuff being tuned a little, but that's about it. That's about all. I was really hoping rogues would get a bit more. There's a lot of good stuff, man. Balin, what else? How you doing, my man? Reflect up for Rick for a second. Lightmo popping in here as well. Saying hello. Is going to be poured out for Rick with a trinket, so he's not going to be able to have any more outs versus Leo. As long as he can keep the pets on Leo, he might be okay. Leo is playing Unholy this time around. He's got A-bomb. Big gateway. Can you grip him back in? He's able to put him out of position into a mortal coil immediately, though. Leo's put in a not a great spot. Get another grip onto Rick with a stun. Silence trades with an axe toss. IBF does knock him back with that. Drakthir Racial should have a port available. Fear, try to see if he can get it, but a Lich board is going to be on Leo. He's got himself a lot of defenses here. Tyrant to amp up all the pets is going to be huge. Tyrant himself is kind of useless, but at least all the other pets are going to get empowered quite decently. Especially the Felguard is going to do a lot of damage. If Leo does not stop the thing, it does a lot of damage. Even with just a couple of casts, the Ruination available for Rick. Got himself a Reflecting Case. Is going to be a grip out for Leo. Does not go for it. Still has all those undead pets that he can build up an army of demons off of. Summon those undeads to target the pets of Leo, and then redirect them to rush at Leo instead. But Leo has got himself at least a couple of mages to get him built up here and there, so he's at least able to deal with the pets of Rick. Where's Rick's main Felguard? Pull that thing back? He did pull that thing back. I was gonna save for a second, like where was it? And Leo actually gripping those other pets behind the pillar just so he can death strike off of them back to back to back. A friend of mine is going to play with me after 6 years. Oh, no out. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. That's gonna be great, man. That's awesome. Friends going back to the game after a while. Yeah, with Koresh and everything that they got on the offer, it's looking pretty fun, man. But back, let's give us a misclick. Oh, good, Morty. All good, man. All good, my guy. Look at Leo catching up a lot of healing back here. Ever since the game Death Knight's a better Death Strike for PvP, like, it actually feels like it does decent bit of healing. It takes a while for him to really regain some health, but hey, at least you have some form of healing. Full silence on a Rick with the A-bomb. That means the riders are in. He needs to get himself a grip, pulling it back over. Rick does himself a port, and Leo's out in the open in the middle of nowhere without a lot of death strikes for him to send in. Does get a kick onto Rick. Near himself also a death back to Axe Toss by Leo, but no! Or rather, Axe Toss on Leo, but not enough. With Whistler taking him out in just a handful of globals. That was so close between the two. That was actually so close, but Leo does claim victory there. I honestly thought Leo was a goner, but then he's got himself a decent setup. Death Pack and just went in. Cheap shot out of Whistler immediately. Try to see if he can get some damage onto Zept. He's going to be blind. You go for Trinket. Trinket kick. Yo, actually Trinket kick full burst to just see if you could kill him in a lockout. That would be diabolical. Full blind with the cloak out for Whistler as he's going for a bit of a resetty behind the pillar. Try to see if he can get himself a bit of a reposition here. Dip the Zept on that gorgeous Gallivanx mount, man. The big G. It's such a good looking mount, honestly. I also like your weapon enchants. You got yourself the Legion enchant, and you got yourself the BFA one together. I think it's called Dread Flame or something, or not Fell Flame. It's got to be like Dread Flame or something, right? So I finally catch one of these. What was up, Chris? My guy, doing pretty good, man. How about you? Doing good, living the life. It's really down to the Zept to try to see if he can fight through the rest, because we still have Whistler. We got ourselves Jay. We got ourselves Iraq. Was it just straight up Rick taking out the majority of Team 2? Is that what that came down to? Just see him walking over these boys? The shot is going to be twice as good as Soul Swap, unfortunately. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Evasion out for Whistler. Trying to see if he can get some damage onto the Zept. The Zept with a Dawn Light and a couple of hammers. I mean, as a rogue, it's so hard to escape the guy. Cheap shot Trinket or Hydra, the Trinket to follow for Whistler. Let's see, have a sippy cup. You may need a sippy cup. Blind, it's over. It is lights, man. It is literally lights. It's searing glare lights. Oh, yeah. That's rough. Can the Paladin bring it back, though? Iraq is not going to be an easy one here. I actually feel like going up against Jayhawk would have been better for this set. Because the Demonology Warlock, like, what do? You could Spell Warden, but his pets are still going to hit you with a physical damage. You could Bop, but like that's going to be Mortal Coils and stuff. Does that try to make sure he doesn't get surrounded by demons? It's going to be a stun. It's still getting hit with an Axos Tyrant to follow. He's trying to see if he can go behind the pillar. He might just have to go with as much self-killing as he can while mana still holds. But I don't really know. That's a full Tyrant. Oh, the pet Spell Warden is in. He's trying to, he decided that he's going to commit it to Spell Warden. Fear will not hit him, but the pets still do all that physical damage that goes right through you. So for Rack, as long as he just waits long enough, those pets will take the Zept out. I think the Pally is done for, man. I think the Pally is done for. Yeah, that's the problem. What do you do? Spell Warden, Bop. Neither one of those buttons is great against a Demonology Warlock, because his pets do physical damage like a warrior, but he's also full on caster like a wizard. So like you just basically between a rock and a hard place after bubble, you don't really have anything reliable afterwards.